Hi there, Stephanie Thomas here with INPS. We're getting a lot of questions and parents sharing their concerns about their struggles with homeschooling their children who are either on the autism spectrum or have ADHD, learning disabilities. They're finding it particularly difficult to try to help their children through this process. So homeschooling in general, I think, can present many challenges right now with the schools, the public schools being, or all the schools rather, being closed. But of course, these kids in particular need lots of support, and sometimes we have to be really creative and do things a little differently. So I want to offer a couple tips and strategies that I hope will be helpful. So to begin with, and this would be true for, I think, for all of us, for kids, adults, parents alike, but especially these neuroatypical kids, the importance of maintaining a schedule and a routine. And what I encourage parents to do is put up a schedule on the wall so that children can see what their day is going to look like, and keep a similar routine on school days particularly, for each day, so that children know that there's going to be built-in breaks and there's going to be time to play, and that the school day is not going to go on and on. That if math is from 9 to 9:30, at 9:30 math is going to be over. So I think it's important for them to have some sense of predictability and order in their world, and a great way to do that is by displaying a daily schedule. The next thing is I think very important. No matter how frustrated we feel, no matter how difficult our child's behavior is, or their struggle to sort of to attend and to pay attention and get through the work, no matter how difficult the struggle is, it's really important that we maintain a very positive, very encouraging way of communicating and working with them. I think we need to keep in mind that these kiddos are wired differently, and we need to be realistic about our expectations for them. Schoolwork often requires an enormous amount of sustained concentration and effort, and what takes a neurotypical kid 30 minutes might take these kids 2 hours, and if they even complete it at all. And I want to encourage you not to have your child sit for 2 hours to do schoolwork, especially now. So if they sense our frustration, it can sort of lead to feeling kind of deflated or defeated and kind of hopeless. So we need to really keep this in mind and constantly be encouraging and building them up. My next point, of course, is keeping the lessons short and sweet. Remember, their attention span is short, and it takes a lot of sustained attention and effort to get the work done. So reducing the workload, and break the lessons into assignments that are 30 to 45-minute chunks, followed by 15 minutes of hard physical activity. Remember, in school, they're getting PE breaks, and they're perhaps walking to different classrooms. They're able to get up and move about more often, perhaps, than they're doing at school at home. So physical activity increases our ability to concentrate by increasing the blood flow to the brain, and it boosts dopamine. So this is all really good stuff when we're trying to concentrate and learn. So keeping the lessons short and sweet. The other thing that I think is really important is that we check in often with them. Some kids are going to do better than others, of course, working on their own, but a lot of times these kids really need and really thrive with one-on-one attention. A lot of parents have told me that they have found that they're able to get through the material and get through the schoolwork much quicker if they're sitting with their child and wondering if this is okay. Absolutely, it's okay. Do what it takes, and sitting with them and saying, okay, let's get back to number 2 here. There's nothing wrong with that. I encourage you to do that. The important thing is not to worry about perhaps their lack of independence right now. It's helping them feel encouraged and supported while they're trying to learn this material. The worst thing that we can do is to really kind of add to their stress and anxiety, because that's just going to turn them off to learning altogether, and of course we don't want that. And I think some parents are finding that it's actually taking less time to get through the material if they just take the time out of their schedules to sit with their child and encourage them along the way to get the work done. So find ways also to be to adapt the work and be creative. Many of these children are on 504s and IEPs. They have lots of accommodations in school, perhaps reduced assignments, some assignments taken away altogether, untimed tests and that kind of thing. So I think it's important to maintain, of course, constant communication with the teacher and talk about ways that you are reducing the work and some of the success that you're finding in doing that, perhaps. So those two things really kind of go hand in hand. I think kind of being creative with the amount of schoolwork and how you're presenting the material. They may not do as well sitting in front of the teacher's lecture. They might do better hearing some brief explanation from you because they're attending. They're able to attend to that better and pay attention. And if that works, if that's more effective, I encourage you to do that. So being creative and making sure that you're staying in communication with the teacher and kind of letting her know what you're doing. Because I know some parents feel a little bit uncomfortable about not completing all the schoolwork. But I think it's important that we do the best that we can, expect that from our child to do the best that they can, and that is not going to be necessarily the same that they're getting or that they might do if they were in a school setting or in their special classroom. The other thing I encourage you to do is to limit the use of computer games and only allowing kids to really to play their video games or get on the computer after their schoolwork is done and after they've had quite a bit of time doing some physical activity. Some parents are sort of sharing that they're seeing a correlation between the limitation of the video games and the improvement in behavior. Some were finding that kids were spending way too much time initially when this whole process started of the homeschooling and the stay-at-home orders, and decided that they were going to eliminate it altogether, and really have found that their children's behaviors improved. So that's certainly supported in the literature as well. So being very mindful about how much time they're spending on the computer, and really kind of trying to cut that back and only allow for some of it after the work's finished, because it's hard to get kids to sort of transition from video games to schoolwork. So I think also, last but not least, providing lots and lots of opportunity for kids to engage in physical activity. Again, they don't get the opportunity at home necessarily with the built-in recess and maybe after-school activities that they normally would have. There are no organized sports, have closed down for a while. So really important that we as parents provide those opportunities, encourage them, and get kind of creative, getting our kids out, playing, breathing some fresh air, and of course that's good for us too. So I hope that some of these strategies might be useful, and I wish you well. Stay safe. Thank you.